As a person who loves movies but hates horror because I'm a little scaredy cat crybaby, I'm surprised that I loved Obsession as much as I did. Not only is it creepy and haunting, but it makes a very smart decision early on that completely changes the rest of the film and how I experienced it. It got under my skin. Let's talk about it. So Obsession follows Bear, this guy who has a crush on his friend Nikki, and he's had a crush on her for a while, but never the guts to ask her out. Until eventually he finds this little branch called a one-wish willow that can grant any one wish he has. Of course, he wishes for Nikki to love him more than anything in the world, rather than, speak his mind. And that comes with some pretty, horrifying consequences. I'm gonna talk spoilers in this, okay? The movie's been out for a while. No one's gonna watch this video if I'm not talking spoilers. So let's just cut to the chase. So the thing I mentioned in the beginning of this video that completely changes how I watched the film was after Bear makes this wish, right? And he and Nikki are just starting to discover their weird fake magic love for each other. They're doing lovey-dovey things in the bed, and all of a sudden, Nikki jumps back. It's a jump scare. It is completely filmed like a jump scare. Nikki jumps back and is gonna be like, what was that? Like, what's going on? And she freaks out. And Bear's like, what? And then Nikki says, no, sorry, it was just a weird moment. It was just a weird moment. Jump scare. Right out the gate. From that moment, Obsession sets the standard that at any moment, Nikki can break. Nikki can break and jump out at you, or jump backwards, or just make you freak out a little, or up the tension out of nowhere, which the film absolutely capitalizes on. Every single time Nikki is filmed as this shadow figure, you're like leaning back in your chair, like, okay, is she gonna jump out? Is she gonna jump out? And 90% of the time, she doesn't. But it's so effective at creating tension, all because of that one choice to have that jump scare in the beginning of the film. And when she does freak out, they are very powerful scares that punctuate moments of the film. Like, I can remember each one. For example, there's that other scene where like she's watching Bear sleep. I just got chills talking about this. There's that scene where she's watching Bear sleep and she says something like, I'm scared that you don't love me, right? But she says like, I'm scared that you don't love me. And as she's saying that last me part, you hear like this demonic undertones start to come in. This wailing that feels kind of supernatural and evil, which is like our first sign that, okay, something else is going on with Nikki. It's not that she just loves Bear, it's that there might be some sort of like demon thing going on here, right? The house gets messier and messier as the evil within her begins to kind of corrupt it externally, which makes this more terrifying. All this to say that the characterization of Nikki here was incredible and absolutely the highlight of the film. Not just because it increased the tension drastically, but because of those demonic undertones, but because of these weird freak out moments she has where it's like kind of Nikki snaps back to reality for a moment. It makes you, the audience member, never forget that Nikki is the victim in all of this. Despite being the face of horror in this film, she is the victim, and you feel for her, and you want her to live through this, to survive this. Even when she like, bashes someone's skull into a steering wheel with a brick tied to it, you're still like, oh, but Nikki, oh, I hope she's okay. I don't exactly remember what YouTube video it was, but there's this video online that basically explains that magic systems in movies and stories are meant to teach a lesson. And if that sounds familiar, can you like link that video down below or something? Because that's a really good video. Magic is meant to teach some sort of moral and not cure a bunch of problems. That is something that the movie Obsession fully understands. There is a moral here. There's lessons here that the main character Bear has to contend with about being loved in return. How love really can't be forced. It has to be freely given. About, I don't know, getting the guts to ask a girl out, I guess. There's a lot you could do here because that magic system is in play. And the movie does the magic right. Almost. You see, the magic system also allows for the film Obsession to kind of like feel like a square peg in a round hole or whatever, where the movie tries to be this moral lesson magic system thing, but also a horror movie at the same time. And those two don't always agree with each other. So for example, when Bear breaks the one-wish willow, he says, I wish Nikki loved me more than anything in the world, or something like that. I'm not entirely sure at what point in that wish there is room for a demon to say, all right, feed him a dead cat. How do we get from Nikki loving him more than anything in the world to let's put his own dead cat on this shrine and then cut it up and feed it to him. Gross. But also, like, where does that come from? Is that the demon thing doing it? Like, you could argue that that's like the internal real Nikki clashing with the external, like, demon Nikki, and you know, there's some turbulence there that causes her to feed Bear a dead cat. I don't know. But I am like, that doesn't really fit in the movie. Right? Like, was that there just for this weird kind of disturbing horror moment? And it stands out because the horror moments where it does clearly fit work so well. For example, Nikki watching Bear sleep. That fits perfectly within the whole like creepy, over-attached girlfriend vibe the movie's going for. I'm getting chills again. God, I'm not watching this movie again anytime soon. That was creepy. I didn't need the cat stuff. Right? It felt like it needed to be done for the sake of this just being a disturbing horror movie. But man, what a really tense ride. That ends spectacularly. I mean, the ending of Bear taking the pills to set Nikki free and also kind of in a dark way set him free. Just for Nikki to break the one wish Willow that he loves her back. They have this one moment where they finally love each other in this own weird, dark, magical, demonic way. Just for Bear to die, Nikki to wake up and realize all her friends are dead. And it's almost like this weird, dark version of Romeo and Juliet. Like, I really think the writers of this film wanted you to think about that. Because in one way, it is a happy ending, right? The whole movie, I was wishing for Nikki to come out on top of this. But you have the horrifying, disturbing aspect of Bear dying, the other girl dying, Emma, as well as his friend that wished for $1 billion. That was a funny scene, by the way, where it's just like a bunch of money falling through the ground. Overall, there's not too much else I need to say about Obsession because you know all this. Even people I know who do not go to the movie theaters are going to see Obsession. And that says something, man. I didn't like the cat stuff, but obviously that's not a major flaw in the film, right? I think it's more indicative of just like, how does this whole demon thing work? What are the rules of this magic? I don't know. Why doesn't Nikki just love him? Why is this demon got to be involved? But overall, Obsession was just, it was such a tense time. It was such a well-executed horror movie. I will be shocked if this isn't considered a classic one day. I am absolutely going to give Obsession my certified coffee cup gold star. But what did you think of Obsession? Or what's your favorite movie about a wish gone wrong? Let me know down in the comments below, and for more chats like these over a cup of coffee, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.